Imagine this: you're 80 years old, standing in your kitchen, sunlight streaming through the window, and you're moving with ease. You're reaching for a mug, walking to the fridge, maybe even planning a stroll with your grandkids later. That freedom, that confidence to move without hesitation, it feels like a dream, doesn't it? But what if I told you that one tiny mistake you're making right now, every single day, could steal that dream away? That's right, there's a hidden danger lurking in your routine, one that could make it harder to walk, climb stairs, or even get out of bed as you age. And the scariest part? Most people over 50 don't even realize they're doing it until it's too late. Now, I know what you're thinking: I'm not as young as I used to be, but I'm doing okay. Maybe you're still active, maybe you're managing. But let me ask you something: do you ever feel a little unsteady on your feet? Do you hesitate before taking the stairs, or feel a twinge in your knees when you stand up? Those are warning signs, my friend, and they're not just part of getting old. They're signals that your body is begging for help. Every year, millions of people over 65 take a fall that changes their lives forever. One wrong step, and suddenly you're not just dealing with a bruise, you're facing hospital bills, months of recovery, or worse, the loss of your independence. I don't say this to scare you, but to wake you up. Because here's the truth: you don't have to let that happen. Today, I'm going to share a secret that's so simple, it almost feels too good to be true. It's one small change you can make every day, that could keep you walking comfortably, confidently, even at 80 or beyond. This isn't about fancy equipment, expensive supplements, or hours at the gym. It's about something you can start doing tomorrow morning, something that fits into your life no matter how busy you are. And I promise you, by the time we're done, you'll wonder why nobody told you about this sooner. Let me tell you about Margaret. She's 78 now, living in a small town in Ohio. A few years ago, Margaret was terrified of falling. She'd had a close call, tripped on a rug in her living room and barely caught herself on the couch. After that, she started moving slower, holding on to furniture as she walked through her house. She stopped going for her morning walks because she didn't trust her legs anymore. Margaret felt like her body was betraying her, and it broke her heart to think she might not be able to keep up with her grandkids. But then she discovered this one simple doiquen we're going to talk about today. Within weeks, she noticed her legs felt stronger, her balance was better, and she wasn't afraid to move anymore. Today, Margaret's back to her walks, playing with her grandkids, and even dancing at her granddaughter's wedding last summer. If Margaret can do it, so can you. So why is this such a big deal? Let's get real for a moment. As we get older, our bodies change. After 50, your muscles naturally start to lose strength, about 1 to 2% every year if you don't do something about it. Your bones get a little weaker, your joints a little stiffer. And your balance? That starts to wobble, too, because the systems in your body that keep you steady don't work as well as they used to. Add to that the fact that most of us aren't as active as we should be. Maybe you're spending more time sitting, watching TV, or scrolling through your phone. Maybe you've cut back on walking because it feels harder than it used to. Those choices add up, and they're quietly chipping away at your ability to move freely. Here's the kicker: falls aren't just accidents. They're the #1 cause of injuries for people over 65 in the United States. Every year, more than 14 million older adults fall, and over 3 million end up in the emergency room. 1 in 5 falls causes a serious injury, like a broken hip or a head trauma. And once you fall, your chances of falling again double. It's a vicious cycle, and it doesn't just hurt your body, it hurts your confidence, your independence, and your ability to live life on your terms. I know that sounds heavy, but I'm telling you this because you have the power to stop it. You don't have to be a statistic. Now, I'm not a doctor, but I've spent years digging into what keeps people healthy and active as they age. I've talked to physical therapists, read studies, and listened to stories from real people like Margaret who've turned things around. And what I've learned is that the difference between struggling to walk at 80 and moving with ease comes down to small, intentional choices you make every day. That's where this one Loi Quen comes in. It's not just a quick fix, it's a way to protect your body, boost your confidence, and keep you doing the things you love for years to come. Let me set the stage for what we're going to uncover. This Loi Quen isn't about overhauling your life. It's not about running marathons or lifting heavy weights. It's something so simple, you'll be able to do it even on your busiest days. And the best part? It works because it targets the three things that matter most for staying mobile as you age: strength, balance, and confidence. When you get those three working together, you're not just preventing falls, you're building a body that feels good, moves well, and lets you live life without fear. I want you to picture yourself a year from now. You're walking through your house, maybe heading out to meet friends or play with your grandkids. You're not second-guessing every step. You're not clinging to the railing on the stairs. You feel strong, steady, and in control. That's what this Loi Quen can do for you. It's like giving your body a daily tune-up, keeping everything running smoothly so you can focus on the things that matter, spending time with family, enjoying your hobbies, or just savoring the little moments that make life sweet. Before we dive into the details, let's talk about why this matters so much. When you're in your 50s, 60s, or 70s, staying mobile isn't just about getting from point A to point B. It's about freedom. It's about being able to live in your own home without worrying about falling. It's about keeping up with your grandkids, traveling to see new places, or even just tending to your garden without pain holding you back. But here's the thing, your ability to move doesn't just fade on its own. It fades because of habits you might not even notice. Sitting too much, skipping exercise, or ignoring those little aches and pains, they all add up. And over time, they make it harder to do the things you love. That's why I'm so excited to share this with you. This Loi Quen isn't just about preventing falls, it's about giving you back control. It's about helping you feel like yourself again, no matter how old you are. And it's backed by what experts know about keeping your body strong and balanced as you age. Physical therapists, doctors, and researchers all agree, small, consistent actions can make a huge difference in how you move and feel. This isn't about complicated science, it's about practical, everyday steps that anyone can take. Let's talk numbers for a second, because they tell a powerful story. Did you know that after age 50, your risk of falling increases every year? By the time you're 80, 1 in 3 people will fall at least once. And falls aren't just a minor inconvenience. They cost Americans over $50 billion a year in medical expenses. More importantly, they rob people of their confidence and independence. But here's the flip side, studies show that simple exercises can cut your fall risk by up to 40%. That's huge. And the Loi Quen we're going to explore today is one of the most effective ways to make that happen. I want you to feel hopeful, because you're about to learn something that can change the way you age. This isn't about fear, it's about empowerment. You're not helpless against the years ticking by. You have the tools to stay strong, to keep moving, and to live life on your terms. Margaret didn't think she could turn things around, but she did. And you can, too. So let's start this journey together, step by step, and uncover the secret that's going to keep you walking comfortably at 80 and beyond. As we move forward, I want you to keep one thing in mind: your body is incredible. It's carried you through decades of life, raising kids, working hard, celebrating joys, and weathering challenges. It's not done yet. With just a little care, it can keep you going strong for years to come. This Loi Quen we're about to explore is like a gift you give yourself every day, a small act of love that pays off in ways you can't even imagine right now. So stick with me, because we're about to dive into why this matters and how it's going to change the way you move through the world. Now, let's get to the heart of it. You're probably wondering what this one Loi Quen is that could make such a big difference. I'm not going to keep you in suspense any longer, but I want you to really understand why it works before we dive into the how. Think about your legs for a moment. They're the foundation of everything you do, walking to the mailbox, climbing stairs, getting up from a chair. When your legs are strong and your balance is steady, you feel like you can take on the world. But when they start to weaken, even the simplest tasks can feel like a challenge. That's where this Thoi Quen comes in. It's all about giving your legs the strength and stability they need to keep you moving with confidence. Here's the secret: the Thoi Quen is a simple daily exercise called the chair squat. I know, it sounds almost too basic, right? But don't let its simplicity fool you. This one move is like a superpower for your legs, your balance, and your whole body. It's something you can do in your living room, with nothing more than a sturdy chair. And it's designed to target exactly what you need to stay mobile as you age: stronger muscles, better balance, and the confidence to move without fear. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine you're in your kitchen, standing in front of a chair. You lower yourself down slowly, like you're about to sit, but just before your backside touches the seat, you pause for a second, then stand back up. That's it. That's the chair squat. It takes maybe 10 seconds per rep, and if you do it for just a minute or two each day, you're giving your body a gift that keeps on giving. This isn't about getting sweaty or pushing yourself to exhaustion. It's about small, consistent effort that builds up over time, like putting a little money in the bank every day and watching it grow. Why does this work so well? Let's break it down. First, the chair squat strengthens the big muscles in your legs, your quads, hamstrings, and glutes. These are the muscles that power every step you take. When they're strong, you can walk farther, climb stairs easier, and get up from a chair without that little groan you might be used to. After 50, those muscles naturally start to weaken if you don't use them, but the chair squat wakes them up and keeps them ready for action. Second, it's incredible for your balance. Every time you lower yourself and stand back up, you're training your body to stay steady. You're engaging those tiny muscles in your ankles and feet that help you stay upright, and you're fine-tuning the signals between your brain and your body that keep you from wobbling. Balance isn't something you think about until it starts to slip, but trust me, it's one of the biggest factors in preventing falls. And the chair squat builds it in a way that feels safe and controlled. Third, and maybe most importantly, it builds your confidence. When you know your legs are strong and your balance is solid, you stop second-guessing yourself. You don't hesitate before stepping off a curb or worry about getting stuck in a chair. You feel in control, and that changes everything. I've seen it happen with people like Margaret, who went from gripping furniture to walking with her head held high. It's not just about your body, it's about how you feel in your own skin. Let me tell you about someone else, John, a 72-year-old retiree from Florida. John used to love golfing, but a few years ago, he started noticing his legs felt heavy after just a few holes. He was afraid he'd have to give it up, and that broke his heart because golf was his way of staying connected with his buddies. Then a physical therapist friend suggested he try chair squats every morning. John was skeptical: how could something so simple make a difference? But he gave it a shot. After just a month, he noticed he could walk the course without feeling worn out. His swing felt stronger, too, because his legs were supporting him better. Now, John's back to golfing twice a week, and he says he feels like he's in his 60s again. So how do you do this chair squat? It's so easy, you'll be amazed. Find a sturdy chair, something with a flat seat, like a dining chair, not a squishy recliner. Stand in front of it with your feet about shoulder width apart. Slowly lower yourself down, like you're going to sit, keeping your back straight and your knees over your toes. Just before you touch the chair, pause for a second, then push through your heels to stand back up. That's one rep. Aim for 5 to 10 reps to start, taking it slow and steady. If you need to, hold on to the chair or a table for balance at first, that's totally fine. The key is to move with control, not speed. If you're thinking, that sounds too simple to work, I get it. We're used to thinking health has to be complicated: pills, diets, gym memberships. But your body doesn't need all that. It just needs consistent care, and the chair squat delivers. Studies show that exercises like this can boost leg strength by up to 20% in just a few weeks, even in people in their 70s and 80s. That's not just a number, it's the difference between struggling to stand up and doing it with ease. I want you to try this tomorrow morning. Just set aside a minute or two, maybe while you're waiting for your coffee to brew. Stand in front of a chair, do a few squats, and notice how your legs feel. You might be surprised at how good it feels to move with purpose. And here's the best part, every time you do it, you're not just strengthening your legs, you're investing in your future. You're building the strength to keep dancing at weddings, chasing after grandkids, or walking through your favorite park without a second thought. Now, I know some of you might be thinking about the aches and pains you're already dealing with. Maybe your knees creak a little, or your hips feel stiff. That's okay. The chair squat is gentle enough for most people, but if you're worried, start slow. Do just 1 or 2 reps, or even practice sitting and standing without the pause. If you've got arthritis or an injury, check with your doctor first, but don't let fear hold you back. This is about taking small steps toward feeling better, not pushing yourself too hard. Let's talk about what happens if you don't do this. I hate to sound grim, but ignoring your leg strength is like ignoring a leaky roof. Small problems turn into big ones fast. Weak legs make it harder to recover from a stumble. Poor balance makes every step a risk. And when you stop moving as much, your muscles weaken even faster, your joints stiffen, and your confidence takes a hit. It's a downward spiral, and I've seen it happen to too many people who thought they had time to deal with it later. But you don't have to go down that road. You can choose a different path, starting with this one simple doi quen. As you're picturing this, I want you to feel excited. This isn't about fixing what's broken, it's about unlocking what's possible. Your body is ready to work with you. It's ready to be stronger, steadier, and more capable than you might realize. All it needs is a little nudge, and the chair squat is that nudge. It's like pressing a reset button every morning, reminding your legs and your brain that you're not slowing down, you're speeding up toward a life full of movement and joy. So where do we go from here? We're just getting started. The chair squat is powerful, but it's even better when you understand how it fits into your life. There's a way to make this doi quen stick, to turn it into something you look forward to every day. And there's a reason it's not just about your legs, it's about your whole body, your mind, and the way you see yourself as you age. Let's keep going, because this is about more than just staying mobile, it's about thriving. You're starting to see the magic of this chair squat, aren't you? It's not just an exercise, it's a promise to yourself. A promise that you're going to keep moving, keep living, and keep enjoying the things that make your days special. But let's be honest, knowing what to do is one thing. Actually doing it every day? That's where the real challenge comes in. Life gets in the way, mornings are busy, joints ache, or maybe you're just not sure you're doing it right. I get it. I've been there, and so have countless others who found a way to make this doi quen a natural part of their lives. So let's talk about how to make this stick, how to turn a minute or two each morning into a habit that transforms the way you move. First, let's think about why consistency matters. Your body loves routine. When you do something like the chair squat every day, your muscles get the message that they need to stay strong. Your brain gets better at coordinating your movements, making balance feel like second nature. It's like watering a plant, skip a day here and there, and it might survive, but give it steady care, and it thrives. That's what we're aiming for here, not just surviving, but thriving. And the beauty of the chair squat is that it's so quick, you don't need to carve out a big chunk of time to make it happen. Let me tell you about Ruth, a 67-year-old from Texas. Ruth wasn't exactly what you'd call athletic, she loved reading and knitting, but exercise? Not her thing. When her doctor warned her about losing muscle strength, she felt overwhelmed. She didn't have a gym membership, and the idea of starting a big workout routine sounded exhausting. But then she heard about the chair squat. At first, she thought, this can't be enough. But she decided to try it, mostly because it was so simple. She started doing 5 squats every morning while her tea steeped. After a week, she noticed her knees didn't ache as much when she walked to her mailbox. After a month, she could get in and out of her car without holding onto the door. Now, Ruth does her squats every day, and she says it's become as automatic as brushing her teeth. So how do you make this as easy as Ruth did? It's all about tying it to something you already do. Think about your morning routine. Maybe you make coffee, feed the cat, or check your email. Pick one of those moments and decide that's when you'll do your chair squats. For example, while you're waiting for the coffee to brew, stand in front of a chair and do 5 or 10 reps. It takes less than a minute, and because it's linked to something you're already doing, you're more likely to remember. It's like sneaking a little health boost into your day without even thinking about it. Another trick is to start small. You don't need to do 20 squats right away, or ever, if that's not your goal. Start with 3 or 5 reps, whatever feels comfortable. If you're a little wobbly, hold on to the chair or a countertop for support. The key is to show up every day, even if it's just for a few seconds. Over time, you'll find yourself wanting to do more because you'll feel the difference: stronger legs, better balance, that little spark of pride that comes from taking care of yourself. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: what if it hurts? If you've got sore knees, stiff hips, or just feel out of shape, the idea of squatting might sound daunting. Here's the good news: the chair squat is one of the gentlest ways to build strength, but you can make it even easier if you need to. If bending your knees feels tough, don't lower yourself all the way down, just go as far as feels okay and stand back up. If you're worried about balance, keep one hand on something sturdy. And if you're dealing with a condition like arthritis, talk to your doctor or a physical therapist to make sure this is right for you. The point is, there's almost always a way to adapt this Quen to fit your body. I want to share a quick story about adapting. Tom, a 74-year-old from California, had bad knees from years of construction work. When he first tried chair squats, he could barely bend without pain. But instead of giving up, he started by just standing up and sitting down slowly, using his arms to help. Over a few weeks, he got stronger, and the pain started to ease up. Now, he does 10 squats every morning and says his knees haven't felt this good in years. Tom's story shows that you don't have to be perfect, you just have to start where you are. Another thing that trips people up is motivation. Some days, you wake up and think, I'll do it tomorrow. Trust me, we've all been there. But here's a little mind trick that helps: remind yourself why you're doing this. Maybe it's so you can keep up with your grandkids without getting winded. Maybe it's so you can stay in your own home as long as possible. Or maybe it's just so you can feel strong and capable again. Whatever your reason, keep it front and center. Write it down and stick it on your fridge if you have to. On those tough mornings, that why will get you moving. Let's talk about the science for a second, because it's pretty incredible. Researchers have studied exercises like the chair squat, and they've found that it doesn't just strengthen your legs, it improves how your whole body works together. When you squat, you're not just using your leg muscles. You're engaging your core, which helps with posture and stability. You're training your brain to coordinate movement, which sharpens your reflexes. And you're even giving your heart a little workout, because moving your body gets your blood flowing. All of that from one simple move you can do in your pajamas. But here's what I love most about this Quen: it's not just about your body. It's about how it makes you feel. Every time you do those squats, you're proving to yourself that you're not slowing down. You're taking charge of your health, your mobility, your future. That's powerful. It's like a little victory every morning, a reminder that you've got more strength inside you than you might think. And those victories add up, not just in how you move, but in how you see yourself. If you're feeling a little skeptical, I don't blame you. We're bombarded with health advice all the time: eat this, avoid that, buy this gadget. It's overwhelming. But the chair squat isn't a fad or a gimmick. It's based on how your body was designed to move. Think about it: every time you sit down or stand up, you're already doing a version of a squat. This Doi Quen just makes it intentional, so you're getting stronger instead of weaker with every day that passes. Let's imagine how this could play out for you. Say you start tomorrow, doing 5 chair squats while your toast is in the toaster. You keep at it, day after day, maybe adding a rep or 2 as you get stronger. A few weeks from now, you notice it's easier to get out of your car. You're not shuffling as much when you walk to the store. You feel a little steadier when you're reaching for something on a high shelf. Those aren't just small wins, they're signs that your body is waking up, getting ready to carry you through the years ahead with more ease and confidence. As we keep exploring this, I want you to start thinking about your own routine. Where could you fit this in? What's one moment in your morning where you could pause and give your legs this gift? And what's the one thing you want to do better, walk farther, climb stairs, play with your grandkids, that this Doi Quen could help you achieve? Hold on to those thoughts, because they're going to fuel you as you make this a part of your life. We're not done yet, there's more to uncover about how this simple move can change the way you age. By now, you're probably starting to feel a spark of excitement about this chair squat. It's not just a random exercise, it's a key to unlocking a stronger, steadier version of yourself. But let's take it a step deeper. This Doi Quen isn't only about your legs or your balance. It's about something bigger, the connection between your body and your mind. When you move with purpose every morning, you're not just building muscle, you're building a mindset that says, I'm in charge of how I age. And that's where the real magic happens. Think about how you feel when you're worried about falling. Maybe you avoid certain activities, like walking on uneven sidewalks or joining friends for a hike. That fear doesn't just limit your body, it limits your life. It chips away at your confidence, making you feel older than you are. But when you do something like the chair squat every day, you're pushing back against that fear. You're proving to yourself that you're capable, that your body can still surprise you. And that shift in how you think changes everything. Let me tell you about Helen, a 69-year-old from Minnesota. Helen used to love gardening, but after a scary moment where she lost her balance and nearly fell into her flower beds, she stopped spending as much time outside. She told herself it was safer to stay indoors, but deep down, she missed digging in the dirt and watching her roses bloom. Then her daughter suggested she try chair squats to build her strength back up. Helen was hesitant, she didn't think she had the energy for exercise. But she started small, doing 3 squats every morning while she waited for her oatmeal to cook. After a couple of weeks, she noticed she wasn't as nervous about moving around. She felt steadier, more in control. By the end of the month, Helen was back in her garden, planting new bulbs and feeling like herself again. What happened with Helen wasn't just physical. Sure, her legs got stronger, and her balance improved. But the real change was in her head. Every time she did those squats, she was reminding herself that she wasn't done yet. She wasn't ready to give up the things she loved. That's what this Doi Quen can do for you, too. It's not just about preventing falls, it's about reclaiming the confidence to live your life fully. So how do you tap into that mental boost? It starts with intention. When you do your chair squats, don't just go through the motions. Think about what you're working toward. Maybe it's being able to walk your dog without worrying about tripping. Maybe it's keeping up with your grandkids at the park. Or maybe it's just knowing you can get through your day without feeling shaky. Before you start, take a second to picture that goal. Let it sink in. Then, as you lower yourself and stand back up, tell yourself, this is for me. This is for my strength. It sounds simple, but that little moment of focus can turn a basic exercise into something deeply empowering. Another way to strengthen this mind-body connection is to notice how you feel after your squats. Even if it's just 5 reps, pay attention to your body afterward. Do your legs feel a little more awake? Does your posture feel a bit taller? Maybe you're breathing a little deeper, or you've got a tiny smile because you did something good for yourself. Those feelings are proof that you're making progress, and they're fuel for your motivation. Over time, you'll start to crave that sense of accomplishment, and it'll make it easier to keep going. Let's talk about something else that can make this doi quen even more powerful, pairing it with gratitude. I know, it might sound a bit out there, but hear me out. Aging comes with challenges, aches, pains, maybe a few things you can't do as easily as before. It's easy to focus on what's hard. But when you're doing your chair squats, try thinking about what your body can still do. Be grateful for the legs that carry you, the heart that keeps beating, the life you're still living. Maybe as you squat, you think, I'm thankful I can still walk to my mailbox, or I'm grateful for the chance to see my grandkids grow up. That gratitude shifts your perspective, making this doi quen feel like a celebration instead of a chore. I want to share another story, this time about Frank, a 76-year-old from Arizona. Frank had always been active. He loved hiking with his wife until his balance started to waver in his early 70s. He felt frustrated, like his body was letting him down. But instead of giving up, Frank decided to fight back. He started doing chair squats every morning, and he added a little twist. While he squatted, he'd think about one thing he was grateful for that day. Sometimes it was his wife's smile, sometimes it was the sunrise he saw on his porch. That small act of gratitude made him look forward to his squats, and it helped him stay positive even on tough days. Today, Frank's back to short hikes, and he says those moments of gratitude keep him grounded in what matters. Now, let's get practical for a moment. You might be wondering how to fit this mindset into your routine without it feeling forced. It's easier than you think. As you're setting up for your squats, standing in front of that chair, feet steady, take one deep breath and let your mind settle. You don't need a big speech or a meditation session. Just think of one thing you're working toward or one thing you're thankful for. It could be as simple as, I'm doing this so I can keep dancing with my spouse, or I'm glad I'm taking care of myself today. Then do your reps. That tiny pause connects your body and your mind, making the doi quen feel meaningful. If you're someone who likes a bit of structure, you can even keep a journal. After your squats, jot down one sentence about how you felt or what you thought about. Maybe it's, my legs felt stronger today, or I thought about my trip next month, and I want to be ready for it. It doesn't have to be fancy, just a way to track your progress and remind yourself why you're doing this. Over time, you'll see how those little notes add up to a story of strength and resilience. Let's talk about what happens when life throws you a curveball. Maybe you're having a rough day, your back's acting up, or you're stressed about something else. It's tempting to skip your squats and tell yourself it doesn't matter. But those are the days when this doi quen matters most. Not because you're going to lose all your progress in one day, but because showing up for yourself, even in a small way, is a reminder that you're still in control. If you can't do your usual reps, do one. If you can't squat at all, just stand and sit a few times. The act of trying is a victory, and it keeps you connected to the bigger goal. There's science behind this, too. Studies show that regular movement, like the chair squat, doesn't just help your muscles. It boosts your mood, sharpens your focus, and even reduces anxiety. When you move your body, your brain releases chemicals like endorphins and serotonin that make you feel good. That's why you might notice a little lift in your spirits after your squats, even if you didn't feel like doing them at first. It's like a natural antidepressant, and it's free, quick, and right there in your living room. As you're thinking about this, I want you to imagine a moment in your future. Picture yourself at a family gathering, maybe a birthday party or a holiday dinner. You're walking across the room to hug someone, or carrying a tray of snacks to the table. You're not worried about your legs giving out or losing your balance. You're just there, fully present, enjoying the laughter and the love. That's what this doi quen is building toward, not just stronger legs, but a life where you feel free to be yourself. And it all starts with that simple chair squat, done with a little intention and a lot of heart. You're starting to see how this chair squat is more than just a quick exercise, aren't you? It's a way to take charge of your body, your confidence, and the way you move through the world. But let's talk about something that can make this doi quen even more powerful: sticking with it over time. It's one thing to try it for a day or two, but the real transformation happens when you make it a part of who you are. When you commit to this small act every morning, you're not just building strength, you're building a future where you can keep doing the things you love, no matter how many candles are on your birthday cake. Let's think about what consistency looks like. It's not about being perfect or never missing a day. It's about showing up more often than you don't. Some mornings, you'll feel energized, ready to do your 10 squats with a smile. Other days, you might be tired or distracted, and 3 squats feel like enough. That's okay. The key is to keep going, to make this a steady part of your life, like drinking your morning coffee or checking the weather. Because every time you do it, you're adding another brick to the foundation of your strength and mobility. I want to tell you about Clara, an 81-year-old from Georgia. Clara had always been independent. She lived alone, cooked her own meals, and loved tending to her small vegetable garden. But in her late 70s, she started feeling unsteady, especially when she bent down to pull weeds. She was terrified of falling and losing her ability to live on her own. A neighbor suggested chair squats, and Clara decided to give them a try. She started with just 2 reps a day, holding onto her kitchen table for balance. Some days, she forgot or didn't feel like it, but she kept coming back. Over a few months, she worked up to 8 reps, and she noticed something amazing. She could kneel in her garden again without worrying about getting stuck. Clara says those squats gave her back her independence, and she's not planning to stop anytime soon. Clara's story shows us something important: progress doesn't happen overnight. It's the little efforts, day after day, that add up to big changes. Think of it like saving pennies in a jar. 1 penny doesn't seem like much, but keep adding them, and soon you've got enough for something special. That's what your chair squats are: pennies of strength, pennies of balance, pennies of confidence. And over time, they turn into a treasure chest of mobility that lets you live life on your terms. So how do you stay consistent? One way is to make it fun. I know fun might not be the first word that comes to mind when you think of exercise, but hear me out. Try playing your favorite song while you do your squats, something upbeat that makes you want to move. Maybe it's a classic from your youth, like the Beatles or Aretha Franklin. Time your reps to the beat, and you'll be done before the chorus hits. Or if music's not your thing, do your squats while you're watching the morning news or listening to a podcast. Pairing it with something you enjoy makes it feel less like work and more like a treat. Another tip is to track your progress. You don't need anything fancy, just a notebook or a calendar. Every day you do your squats, put a check mark or a smiley face. It's a small thing, but seeing those marks add up gives you a sense of accomplishment. Plus, it's a reminder of how far you've come. If you want to get a little more detailed, write down how many reps you did or how you felt afterward. Maybe one day you note, did 6 squats, legs felt strong. Another day, it might be, only did 3, but I showed up. Both are wins, because they mean you're still in the game. Let's talk about those days when it's hard to keep going. Maybe you're dealing with a flare-up of pain, or life's just throwing too much at you. It happens to everyone. When it does, give yourself permission to scale back. If your usual 8 squats feel like too much, do 2. If you're not up for squatting at all, just practice standing up and sitting down slowly. The point is to do something, even if it's tiny, because that keeps the habit alive. And if you miss a day, don't beat yourself up. Just pick it up again tomorrow. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. There's a reason this works so well over time. Your body is built to adapt. When you challenge your muscles with something like the chair squat, they respond by getting stronger. Your brain gets better at coordinating your movements, so balance becomes easier. Even your bones benefit. Regular movement like this can help keep them denser, which is a big deal as you age. Studies show that consistent strength exercises can improve mobility by up to 30% in older adults, even if you start in your 80s. That's not just a statistic, it's the difference between needing help to get around and doing it on your own. But it's not just your body that changes. Sticking with this Doi Quen builds resilience in your mind, too. Every day you show up, you're reinforcing the idea that you're capable. You're telling yourself, I can do this. I'm not giving up. That mindset spills over into other parts of your life. Maybe you start walking a little farther because you trust your legs more. Maybe you say yes to a social event instead of staying home. Those small choices add up, creating a ripple effect that makes every day a little brighter. Let's imagine what this could look like a year from now. You've been doing your chair squats most days, maybe working up to 10 or 12 reps, you're walking with a steadier stride, climbing stairs without gripping the railing, getting out of chairs with ease. You feel lighter, not just in your body but in your spirit, because you know you're doing something good for yourself. And when you look back, you realize those minutes you spent squatting were some of the best investments you ever made. As you're thinking about this, I want you to picture one moment you're looking forward to. Maybe it's a trip you're planning, a family reunion, or just a quiet morning in your favorite chair with a good book. Whatever it is, this Doi Quen is helping you get there. It's giving you the strength to show up fully, to be present for the moments that matter. And that's worth showing up for, day after day, one squat at a time. You've come so far in this journey, and I hope you're feeling as inspired as I am. This chair squat, this one simple Doi Quen, isn't just about stronger legs or better balance. It's about the life you're building, the moments you're saving for, the person you're becoming as you age. Every time you stand in front of that chair and lower yourself down, you're making a choice. A choice to stay active, to stay independent, to stay you. And that choice is one of the most powerful gifts you can give yourself. Let's think about what this Doi Quen really means. It's not just a minute or two out of your morning. It's a way to honor your body and all it's done for you. Think about the years you've spent raising kids, working hard, laughing with friends, weathering storms. Your body has been there through it all, and it's still here, ready to keep going. The chair squat is like a thank you note to that body, a small act of care that says, I'm not done yet, and neither are you. I want to share one last story, about Dorothy, a 79-year-old from Colorado. Dorothy was never one for exercise, she preferred baking pies and hosting card games with her neighbors. But a few years ago, she noticed she was struggling to carry her groceries from the car. It wasn't just the weight, it was the walk from the driveway to the kitchen that left her shaky. She didn't want to rely on her kids for help, so she decided to try something new. A friend told her about chair squats, and Dorothy figured she had nothing to lose. She started doing 4 squats every morning while she waited for her tea to steep. At first, it was tough, she had to hold on to the counter, and her knees complained. But she kept at it, adding a rep or two when she felt ready. 6 months later, Dorothy was carrying her groceries without a second thought. Last summer, she even walked a 5K with her daughter, something she never thought she'd do. Dorothy says those squats didn't just change her legs, they changed how she sees herself. Dorothy's story is a reminder that this Doi Quen isn't about becoming someone new. It's about staying true to who you are. Whether you love gardening, golfing, or just sitting on your porch with a cup of coffee, this Doi Quen helps you keep doing those things. It's about holding on to the little joys that make your life yours, and not letting fear or frailty take them away. So what's next? You've got the tools now. You know how to do the chair squat, why it works, and how to make it a part of your life. All that's left is to start. Tomorrow morning, find a sturdy chair. Stand in front of it, take a deep breath, and do your first rep. Maybe it's just 1 or 2 to start, doesn't matter. What matters is that you're taking that first step. And then do it again the next day, and the day after that. Some days will be easier than others, but every day you show up, you're building something incredible. If you're feeling a little nervous, that's okay. Change is scary, even when it's small. But you're not alone in this. Millions of people just like you are finding ways to stay strong and active as they age. You're part of a community, people like Margaret, John, Ruth, Helen, Frank, Clara, and Dorothy, who've decided that their best years are still ahead. And every time you do your chair squats, you're joining them, proving that age is just a number when you've got the right habits. Let's talk about what you're working toward. Close your eyes for a second and picture it. Maybe it's walking down the aisle at your grandchild's wedding, strong and steady. Maybe it's hiking a trail you've always wanted to explore. Or maybe it's just getting through your day without worrying about your legs giving out. Whatever it is, hold on to that vision. Let it be the spark that gets you out of bed and in front of that chair each morning. Because that vision isn't just a dream, it's a future you're building, one squat at a time. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a thought. Your health, your mobility, your independence, they're not just for you. They're for the people who love you, the ones who want to see you laughing, moving, and living your best life. When you take care of yourself with this Quen, you're giving them a gift, too. You're giving them more time with the vibrant, unstoppable person they cherish. So do it for them, but most of all, do it for you. Because you deserve to walk comfortably at 80, 85, even 90. You deserve to feel strong, to feel free, to feel alive. So here's my challenge to you, start tomorrow. Do 1 chair squat, or 5, or whatever feels right. Make it your moment, a quiet, powerful act of love for your body and your future. And when you're done, smile. Smile because you've taken control. Smile because you're on your way to a life where every step feels easier, every day feels brighter. You've got this. I believe in you. And I can't wait to hear about all the amazing things you're going to do with the strength you're building.